Hey guys, so last night I finally watched Suicide Squad. Before anything, if you haven't watched the movie yet, even though a lot of you already watched it, but still, there's gonna be spoilers in this video. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, don't watch this video, please. I don't want to spoil anything for you. So, first of all, I could say one thing, which is the 2016 Suicide Squad was definitely better than this one. It really was. I know a lot of people are not going to agree with this, but it was actually, because a lot of people don't really like the 2016 Suicide Squad. Not because the movie is bad or anything, but I think everyone knows why people don't like the movie. Because that movie was actually good, and realistically, it is better than this one. So after seeing so many high ratings for this movie, like in Rotten Tomatoes, I didn't actually like keep my hopes up that I'm gonna see a really good DC movie. Okay, I just kept it pretty low. I just wanted to see for myself first. After watching it, I'm just thinking like, how did this movie even get so many high ratings and good reviews? I've seen some people saying that the people who were giving this ratings were probably paid off to give good reviews, but I'd rather not say anything about that. That's not something for me to say. But sometimes Rotten Tomatoes can be trusted, because sometimes you see, like, if it's a good movie, but then Rotten Tomatoes would give it a low rating. But then sometimes it's a bad movie, but then they would give it a high rating. Like, for example, Man of Steel is a good movie, but it only has like 55% on Rotten Tomatoes. Aquaman was great, but it only has like 65. You know what I mean? Like, just Rotten Tomatoes can be trusted, really. But to me, this movie is not the best DCEU movie. Yes, a lot of people are saying. For me, I still think Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman is still up there, right? So this is not the best one. So the character portrayals was really great for me. Okay, Idris Elba, John Cena, Viola Davis killed it. Viola Davis as Amanda Waller once again was just wow, really. Like, she she just played that character so good that you just really hate the character even more than you saw in the first one. It really, like, you just at some point you really like, man, can't someone just kill her already? She's just so annoying. Like, that feeling is actually a good thing, like, she just she's just playing that part so good that she just makes you hate her so much. So her portrayal is just that good. So yeah, it was a great casting actually for Amanda Waller. I don't think we've had a bad casting for Amanda Waller. Even the Arrow one was great too. Both of them was just like, just John Cena as Peacemaker was great. I haven't actually seen a lot of movies with John Cena in it, only a few. Fast and Furious 9 being one of it, he was great at that, and he was even great in this one too, so good job for him. Idris Elba, Ratcatcher 2, all great portrayals by the actor and actresses. All the costumes look great too, I really liked all the costumes, so good job with that. Now, there were a lot of off-screen references and stories that wasn't really like explained very deeply, like what was that with Bloodsport shooting Superman and putting him in the ICU? When did that happen? Like, when did that happen? This is Superman we're talking about. How can you just put in a random story about Superman getting shot and put in the ICU without no explanation? It's just happened off screen. How can you do that? Like, when did this happen? Like, you can't just put in random references in a movie for no reason at all. Because did James Gunn forget that this movie is a part of a universe where Superman is still alive and he's like the strongest character ever? I know Bloodsport. Why did I say Bloodshot? Bloodsport is kind of famous for shooting Superman, but I know that is in the comics. But in this universe, that hasn't happened before. But if that has happened in the previous movie and then you use that as reference in this one, it's okay. But that didn't happen, right? If he like shot some other random characters, that's okay. But this is Superman we're talking about. We should have at least saw how this happened. He had 100% control of this movie. So why did he do it? Obviously people are gonna blame WB for this, even though it was kind of his choice to put it in. People nowadays, they would just find any reason to blame WB. But yeah, and other than that, what about the relationship between Rick and June? What about that? No explanation at all. And then, how did Harley Quinn ended up in prison again? What did she do to get into prison again? They didn't say anything about that, because like you see in the 2016 one, right? They gave us a bit of backstory on Harley Quinn, how she ended up in prison, because the Batman caught her. That's how she ended up in prison. How did she ended up in prison again here in this movie? Going with Task Force X again. How? They didn't show us. This movie is supposed to be after Birds of Prey, because in Birds of Prey she was still with Cassandra Cain. So what happened to her? How did Harley came here? Nothing. They didn't show anything. All of a sudden Harley just popped up here like that. And what was that about? Sylvia Luna saying that Harley did a rebellion in the face of American oppression that inspired the people of Corto Maltese. What was that? What did she do? Once again, another off-screen event. What rebellion did she did that inspired the people of Corto Maltese that until they see her as an inspiration? What did they do? What did she do that inspired people? James Gunn shouldn't have put in random references like that for no reason. Because these are the things that you should at least shown us what or how. Even if it's in Shazam, okay, where Superman appeared in the end of Shazam. If let's say, or even in Birds of Prey, they didn't actually show Joker's face, they showed his body. So if you showed us Bloodsport shooting Superman without actually showing Henry Cavill's face, that would have been okay with me too. At least they showed us it happened. Even this one, what rebellion did she do? What was Sylvia Luna talking about? Really? James Gunn, he shouldn't have put in random references for no reason at all, unless they plan to reveal it in future movies or shows, like in the MCU. How does the MCU do? Sometimes you hear a reference in one movie, but then after a long time, after a few years, you finally get the answer. What does that mean? I'll give you an example. In 2012 Avengers, when Bruce Banner said that what does Fury want him to do, swallow it? We didn't know what it means. After watching Captain Marvel, finally we know. Oh, it means that because Goose ate the Tesseract, right? So that's what that reference meant. So a reference said in 2012, we got an answer 7 years later. Even with Budapest, we got a drop of Budapest in 2012 Avengers. But when we get the answer of what happened in Budapest this year, after 10 years, 9 years. So unless they plan to do something like that, I'm okay with it. But I'm not really sure WB is that creative to do something like that. So yeah. All right. What else? Yeah, the movie was at some points not logical, like when Bloodsport and Peacemaker was at the camp killing people. How did no one heard the killing? Like two guys were just right there. Now that I remember it correctly, two guys were just right there. One was tying his shoes and one was smoking, and this killing was happening behind them. How long was that guy tying his shoes for that he didn't hear so many people getting killed back there? Even King Shark was eating a guy, and that guy was screaming and no one heard. How? Really, man, that doesn't make sense at all. The killing has actually happened right behind them. This dude, how long was he just tying his shoes that he didn't realize that people were getting killed and someone was getting eaten by a shark? Why didn't you just turn behind and look? And that dude was just peacefully smoking. One of them was just still sleeping. It's not logical at all. How did that happen? And also, my voice cracked. Another one is how Luna wasn't even suspicious that Harley knew about Jotunheim, because I'm pretty sure Luna didn't tell her about that. So he wasn't even suspicious that she knew about Jotunheim, or if she's there to destroy it or take it. He didn't even bother. He was just continuing to explain what he has done. Like, do you just like explain your evil things that you do to just random people? Like, how you weren't even suspicious that she knew about Jotunheim? Like, how did she know about it? Is she there to conquer it or take it or use it or whatever? You don't bother. You just like, okay, I'm cool with it. I'm just gonna tell her what my what have I done, or like something like that. Like that one just didn't make sense. Like, do they just tell their evil doings to random people just because you like slept with the girl? You can just tell her anything, but come on, that's not logical at all. Right. So now the characters. I'll go one by one. Really disappointed with what James has done, yo. Really, all these characters had potential, and you kill them off just like that. Like, what was the point of bringing so many of these characters on screen, hyping them up for weeks with posters and all the name card posters and everything, only to kill them just like that in like 5 minutes into the movie? What was the point? Captain Boomerang was an OG Suicide Squad member, and he was great in the last movie, and you killed him just like that. Why? Like, he didn't even do anything, man. He didn't even fight. He just got killed just like that. An OG Suicide Squad member. TDK, I swear, I've seen James Gunn always talks about this character, okay? And the actor who plays this character, Nathan Fillion, every single time I've seen, it's always TDK, Nathan Fillion, always James Gunn will be talking about this character and like hyping up this character. And I was like, oh, okay, he's talking about this character a lot. He might have a big role. Bullshit, he died like 5 minutes. The dude didn't even do anything. He just detached his arm, slapped some people, and then he got shot and dead. That's it. What was really like, dude barely did anything. Mongal was a Superman villain. She died just like that. Blackguard, Javelin, Savant, Weasel didn't even do anything. Like, really, Weasel looked really stupid to me compared to the comic version. And why was he still alive? What do they have in plans for him that they didn't kill him off? Like, really? And Rick Flag too. His death was the most annoying one for me. This dude is an OG Suicide Squad member, and he had so much potential, and you just killed him like that. Yeah, I mean, he had a good fight with Peacemaker. That was a great fight, but it would have been better if no one died in that fight. Rick Flag is the worst possible person that you could choose to kill, really. And plus, he was like Waller's like favorite, but she didn't even care about him dying. Does she even know that he's dead? But if she doesn't know, then okay, it's logical that she didn't like really care. But okay. But Flag's death was really wasted potential. I actually wanted to see more of him. The remaining members who were still alive was pretty useless to me because King Shark, apart from being adorable and everything, he didn't actually do anything though. Like, all he did was eat one guy at the camp, and then he ripped that guy in half in front of Jotunheim, and then another one he ate that guy's head. That's it. And then he ate a little bit of Starro, which had no effect. So yeah, pretty useless to me though. Like, I still prefer the Flash version of King Shark. He looked more badass and dangerous, but okay. Polka Dot Man was just a weird character throughout the movie, but he did kill some people. At Jotunheim, he was like, he saved Harley and Bloodsport's life, kind of. So yeah, I'll give him that one. But his death was just like that. Like, he was kind of having a character development there, and you guys just killed him like that. Poor Polka Dot Man. Alright, and Harley barely did anything too. Like, what did Harley do throughout the movie? She didn't do anything though. Like, at least in 2016 Suicide Squad, she did something. But in this one, nothing though. Really. All she did was come to the beach of Coral Maltese and then get kidnapped. And then she was with Luna for a while. And then she killed him. So, and then she escaped from being in captivity of the general. And then that's it. Then she joined back the team, and then she took the javelin and went inside Starro's eye, which actually had no effect because at the end it was the rats that killed Starro, so Harley basically was useless. And then yeah, she was technically useless. And then the Thinker was the one who was definitely wasted. Taking drugs, going to gentlemen's club, like, bro, really? And he didn't even have powers. He was just a normal guy with spark plugs on his head. Why did you, dude, man? When you said the Thinker, I was expecting something like the Flash Thinker. Look how he was. He was so strong as a villain. Even though it's not the same Thinker. I thought, okay, I don't want to expect too much, okay, but this guy is not even the Thinker. He didn't even have any power, so how is he the Thinker? He's just a guy. You didn't James Gunn didn't have the use of Thinker at all. He could have just used some guy who's a genius who took care of Starro. You said Thinker, but then he's not really a Thinker. He's just a guy with spark plugs on his head. Like, King Shark and Thinker were definitely a downgrade from the Flash versions. I'm really disappointed in that. So Peacemaker, Bloodsport, and Ratcatcher were the only useful ones that I think, yeah, the only useful one you could say. Peacemaker and Bloodsport were such badasses in the movie. It was awesome. Ratcatcher technically did kill Starro, so yeah, she was great. They better bring her back. And Sebastian too. I like Sebastian. He was awesome. He killed Starro. So yeah, I would like to see her back. So after what Peacemaker did, not even sure I want to show for him anymore. Like, he's just an asshole, man. Really, I didn't expect Peacemaker to be like that, because I'm really not that into Peacemaker. I've never even heard of Peacemaker before watching this movie. Only after that I searched some comics about Peacemaker. I was reading a little bit, but I don't really remember that much. So basically, in this movie is the first time I'm watching something that involved Peacemaker. So yeah, I didn't actually know how his character was. I didn't know this was his actual character, that he would actually kill anyone, doesn't matter who it is, to achieve peace. So I'm not really sure if Peacemaker deserves a show anymore, but they've done it already. But so yeah, I'm just gonna go with it. I'm still gonna watch it though. That's not a tempt. I don't know. I would better give a show for Bloodsport or Ratcatcher. If the concept is right, then yeah, why not? And the jokes in this movie was kind of unnecessary at some point. Like, the killing scene at the camp was such badass scene, but the moment was ruined when they awkwardly found out that the people that they killed were good people. The moment was ruined just like that. Even when Polka Dot Man died, I think he finally had a little character development, because he was like really scared of his mom, and then he finally like attacked Starro, who he envisioned as his mom. It kind of gave him a development. He even screamed that I'm a superhero, but then boom, died. I'm not sure if he was trying to be funny or something, but if it was, it didn't work. So certain jokes throughout this movie were funny, some were unnecessary and not funny really. And the gore was okay with me, but at some point I just feel like it was too much. They could have just minimum gore. That would have been perfect. But this movie, they just used gore and just like unnecessary places, like literally every single time. The entire movie had gore. Like, I don't think they had to do that, man. There was just too much. It looks like Gunn was trying to make a movie which is like a mix of Guardians of the Galaxy and Deadpool, because it had the music, it had the gore, the jokes, everything, it even had a team, So, but I don't think it really worked out well for him. It really kind of failed, man. Alright, this is the last one. This has nothing to do with the plot. But does James Gunn hate birds or something? Because, I don't know, first Savant killed a bird in a cell, and then the cage full of birds was burned. Like, does he not like birds or something? I'm not really sure about that. So yeah, technically that's all I gotta say for this movie. Sorry if I took a lot of your time for this review. I just wanted to say everything that I had to say, because normally if I have something to say, I just say everything. Okay, I won't hide it, so that you guys know what I actually think about the movie. Because normally I won't hide anything. Whatever I think about it, I'll just say it. Okay, even if it takes a long time. So yeah, I know it's more negative than positive from what I said, but hey, I want to say that this movie is unwatchable it's enjoyable, but just not the best movie like all the reviews are saying about it. So just I would say not don't trust the reviews that much before you watch this movie, because you're probably gonna get disappointed. You know, you probably watch the movie for the reviews, and then you'll be like, "What the reviews were a lie. The movies are bad." If you think the same as I did, you know. So all of this is just what I saw from the movie. Okay, I don't know how you guys would feel about it. You guys might have a different perspective on it, but I hope you enjoyed the movie. You had a great time watching it. I know. So the next DC movie after this probably would be I think the Batman, right? Batman or Black Adam, and the Flash too. Next year we have a lot of DC movies, which is great. So yeah, yeah, that is all for this review for the Suicide Squad. Once again, I know it's been a long time, like 20 minutes. I think I've spoken about this. So, yeah, that is all for this review. Thank you very much for watching. If you watched till the end, I really appreciate it if you did. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching this review. I will be uploading a lot more after this, so stay tuned. Thank you very much. I'll see you again.